All right, there we go. Sorry about that. It took me an extra second to get this all sorted out. How's it going, everybody? How's everybody doing today on this lovely Thursday afternoon? It's afternoon for me. It's probably evening for some of you guys out there. But for me, it is still about 2 in the afternoon. But yeah, I'm just jumping on here. I haven't done a live stream in a while. I figured I'd come in and chit chat about some of the random things that are going on, and in terms also a announcement that I'll make in just a little bit. So, but yeah, I figured I'll start off just by chit chatting about some general stuff. And Domingos Jr. actually had something I did want to talk up for a bit. This is just did you enjoy Fantastic Four and Superman? And yeah, I have been to the movie theaters a lot recently, and I went to go see both of those, and I've also seen 28 Years Later, finally, which I just saw last night. And yeah, I'll tell you what I thought about all three of them in the order that I saw them. I first saw what's up, Paul? How you doing? I first went to go see Superman. Went to go see that opening weekend. The whole family went. Me, Christy, and Stella all went, and all three of us loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It was everything that I wanted from a Superman movie. Did I have some nitpicks about some of the plot stuff? Sure. Is it a perfect movie? No. It's not a perfect movie. It's a little bit of a mess in the beginning, kind of throwing a little bit too many balls in the air, but I thought it actually juggled them pretty well. Came together pretty nicely. Really, really loved what they did there. Looking forward to more. Would really look forward to more Superman, especially if James Gunn is handling it. I don't think he's made a movie that I have not liked at all so far. He's made some that I thought were, not as good as some of the others, but Superman, that's a winner. Very good film. Fantastic Four, I saw opening weekend as well, too. We actually went to go see that opening day. Or no, we went to go see it Saturday. Me, Christy, and Stella once again went to go see it together. And honestly, I thought it was fine. I didn't dislike it. I thought it was a decent movie. I enjoyed most of it. I just thought it was a very middle-of-the-road, kind of bland superhero movie. Liked the space stuff. I wish they had more of the space stuff. I thought that was cool. I liked the family stuff. There just wasn't much of it. My biggest beef with the movie is the complete lack of anybody having any sort of character arc, development, story. There really isn't any of that. None of the characters have any arc that they go through, which I thought was disappointing. No one even really has that much personality. Everyone kind of feels sort of bland. I thought that the finale, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but the finale, there's one of the big things that happen to finales feels very contrived and out of the blue. It just doesn't feel as earned as it should for that big of a thing. And yeah, I mean, it was all right. Christy didn't care for it at all. She really didn't like it. Stella fell asleep. It was clearly not enough action scenes to entertain an 8-year-old. There's really only 2 major action scenes in the entire movie, so it's definitely, there's a lot of talking in it, which isn't necessarily bad, but it's mostly plot talking and not like cool character bits and stuff like that that I would have liked to have seen. Real quick, Paul brought this up too. The last Amityville movie is on a channel called Found TV. It is a streaming service that is free, sort of like Tubi, but it's all found footage. And the last Amityville movie is up there. And last week, I don't think it is anymore. It was last week. It was the most watched film on the channel, which I thought was pretty cool. We got a bunch of people on TikTok and Instagram Live or Instagram Reels that were talking up the movie, and there was a couple of guys that made some really complimentary posts about it that thought was pretty cool. It's always nice to see the people are enjoying that movie. It seems as if like the general Tubi audience that were watching it, just casually finding it, were like iffy on it, but the people that like found footage movies are like super into it. So if you like found footage movies, apparently my movie is for you. Also, I think if you like horror comedies, you'll probably find it for you. I like that. The last movie that I'll talk about that I saw is 28 Years Later, which I watched last night, which I thought was really good, really good. It's a really pretty movie. It was not the movie I was expecting whatsoever. I was not expecting it at all. I was expecting sort of more of the feel of the original, and instead I got this really nice character family drama, and I was into it. It was really pretty. I thought some of the shots were a little maybe too green screeny looking. Some of it didn't look really nice in terms of like the quality of how it was shot. But it was really, really beautiful. The music was great. I'm still like, the editing was a little janky. There was trying to emulate that old school look of it. But yeah, I was sold. I thought it was fantastic. And yeah, Paul points this out. He says the ending of it. I didn't have as much problem with the ending as I saw online. I was braced for an ending. But the thing is, and I don't want to spoil the movie for people, and so if you haven't seen it yet, don't worry, because I'm not going to spoil it. But here's the thing. I see it as a complete film that has an ending. There's a bit there at the end, at the very end, where the story of that movie is over. Okay, there's a part where somebody is running into water. I'll just say that. And you could have put the credits right there, and everyone would have been raving about it, right? Because it was this great full storyline. And then you have that little bit at the very, very ending, which is very clearly a setup for the next movie, which we know is coming out. Like they've announced it. It's coming out like next year. They shot it back to back. It's there. And the way I see it is, look at that scene as essentially a mid-credit or post-credit, like Marvel style setup for the next movie. That's what it is. It's just a different thing, and it's setting up the next follow-up to that. And I was into the movie, liked it quite a bit. Domingos talks about the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, which I have not seen. I'll watch it when it comes streaming. I'll be honest, I don't have that much thrill to it. Volan says he just finished watching The Last Emmy of the Last Night in a triple feature with Devil Rides Out and Highlander. Yeah, one of these things is not like the other. But no, that's I'm glad to be in company with those two movies. Those are two great movies and a silly, goofy thing that was shot in my living room. But yeah, there we go. Davini says, what do you think about the new Final Destination movie and the new I Know What You Did Last Summer? I have not seen I Know What You Did Last Summer. I will wait for streaming on that. I'm not, I'll watch it. I'm not thrilled. If I had heard people coming back from it saying that they liked it, I would have gone to see it. But I wasn't that psyched up in the beginning. And then when people weren't liking it, I just said, I'll just wait for streaming. The new Final Destination was fun. It was what I wanted. Is it really, groundbreaking or doing something different with the formula? No, but it's doing enough. My biggest beef with it is that there's a lot in it. I'm so sick of movies nowadays filming on a green screen soundstage, and how every movie now just looks computer animated. And I had a lot of problems in the beginning of Final Destination with the whole setup scene in that rotating hotel. Everything in that entire scene felt like just people standing on a soundstage, and nothing about the background or where they were, the environment. None of it felt real to me. And I've been having that problem a lot with movies, because nowadays movies are mostly most movies now are shot on sound stages with very little location shooting. And even then, like that new Jurassic Park movie, which I haven't seen, but I've seen the bits of it. They did shoot some on location, but then they actually replaced a lot of the backgrounds with these more elaborate looking, like scenic backgrounds. And again, it all looks very not real. And my eyes are having a hard time adjusting to it, because I want to feel like I'm in a place. And so many movies nowadays, I never feel like I'm actually in an actual place, an actual location. And it's been a struggle because it just feels like, you know, I just want to feel like I'm there and not like in a computer simulation. And so much of things feel like computer simulation, and like that whole beginning of Final Destination felt that way. But you know, story wise, it was cool. I liked it. Deaths were fun. Sequences were fun. I like the characters. It sets up some new wrinkles, some new things to wonder about, and also a couple of answers. Like I really like the resolution that they did. And again, in case people haven't seen it, I won't spoil it, but I really like where they went with Tony Todd's character. It was a very, very nice way to say goodbye to him. There's a scene in the movie where it felt like he was talking directly to the audience, which was really a really nice touching moment that was pretty cool. That was good. I'm happy to see that. So if you haven't seen it, just know that there's a really, really nice moment, but also know that Tony looks rough. I've told this story before, but Christy worked with Tony on a movie, and Tony dated one of Christy's friends. I believe they actually got married at one point. But Christy got to know Tony pretty well, and he invited us to his one-man show, and we went to go see his one-man show over in East Hollywood. And it was like it was just like industry people at this. It was kind of like a I forget what they call it, where it's just like it's not really a rehearsal, but it's kind of just like an early show. But so it was still, he was still working through it, but it was really cool to see it. And we got to hang out with him afterwards and chit chat. And he was so nice and so pleasant, and he was this big, imposing man, deep voice, and just like he just looked like he could just pick you up and toss you like a rag doll. And to see him in a withered, like frail state, it was kind of sad. It was kind of sad, but decent movie. Enjoyed it. Thought it was a good time. I'm looking forward to more Final Destination movies. I would like to see what they're going to do with it next, and I'm sure they will with how much money this one has made. I'm sure there'll be more. But yeah. Any other questions before we get to the meat of what I'm going to talk about? Any other questions you guys got? I do have some cool stuff coming up for you. I obviously got back from my cross-country trip, the vacation. We drove cross-country with Stella and Christy. It's turned out to be a lot. We actually had a lot of fun. It was really cool. I was stressed out that it was going to be some struggles. And there were some struggles, but fun struggles. Like the car, we were delivering a friend's car, and his car was really old, and it did break down on our trip, and we did get stuck in Denver for an extra day, but we got stuck with friends. We were meeting up with friends in Denver, and we ended up just staying at their house for an extra night, and we had a really good day. So it was kind of fun to have an extra day with them. So all in all, wasn't bad. And we had a really good time. Some weird stories along the way. We definitely encountered some strange people and some odd locations. But I found, I don't even have it handy. It was in some weird antique shop in Moab, Utah. And I found a signed copy of an Eating Raoul comic book from 1982 or something like that. Came out when the movie came out, and it's signed by Paul Bartel and the artist of the comic book. I was just like, there's no way I'm not buying this. I didn't even know this existed. So I bought that in a heartbeat, which was kind of cool. It was like the best thing I found. I think it was the only thing I bought on the entire trip, it was pretty cool. But yeah, that was pretty cool. But any other questions you guys got over here in the chat before I go on to what I'm going to talk about for the rest of the time here, I guess. But I don't see any other things. But I will tell you that you've got some cool stuff coming up for you. Tomorrow, there's a new video coming up, which is another insane horror video. I found 7 more really out there movies to talk about. So some kind of strange stuff for you there. On Monday, I'm celebrating the release of that new Alien TV show with an Aliens ripoff video. So you'll be getting some of that. And then next week, you'll be getting a new 80s Project video. If it clears copyright, it's kind of giving me a hassle, but it shouldn't be a problem. Copyright has been a real pain in the ass lately. There's been some companies out there playing dicks. So just got to keep on fighting back against these people. But this guy said there's a horror themed burger place down around Sandy. It's funny because I really wish that we had known about some places. We stayed in some random spots, like we stayed in St. George, we stayed in Moab. Most of where we stayed were not in like heavily populated areas. Somebody had sent me a thing about a cool horror store in like Kansas or whatever like that. That we would have liked to have stopped at some of these places, but we really didn't. We weren't near civilization too much, but it was kind of there too. Davini said, I love Do Your Worst series and the videos in Empire of the Apes up on Camp Blood movies. Do Your Worst has been one of my favorite series to make. I am in the middle of watching a set of movies. I'm really far ahead on watching, just so you guys know. I am watching movies right now for videos that are going to come out in November. I'm editing videos right now that are going to come out in September, and I'm doing research for stuff going that's going to be out in November. So I'm pretty well ahead on my watching. But yeah, even though the third episode of Do Your Worst has gone up, I am watching movies for the sixth episode of it coming out in November. So I'm pretty excited about that. Do Your Worst is funny because I have enough movies now, enough recommendations to last me for a while. So I'm still going to take recommendations for people, but they're going to go on a separate list. And I'm going to try to finish this first list. I've got about 50 to 60 movies on this list that I want to whittle through before I start adding new things to it. So I'm going to do that, just try to work on this list, but I will still take new recommendations, but they're going to go in a separate pile. But yeah. And then, I love doing some of those lesser known things like Empire of the Apes and Camp Blood. And I still want to do, even though those videos don't really get a ton of views, I still like doing stuff like that. It's kind of fun for me to see some things. In November, I'm going to be doing it's a short one, a timeline on the Carousel movies, which there's only 3 of those, and just kind of fun things that I like to do for me, outside of just the other stuff there. Sir Dunning actually asked about the Elm Street 4Ks, and I'm not a practical media. I'm not a practical media guy. I used to move a whole lot, so I got really used to not having a bunch of stuff. So I got like all my music is digital. I made all my movies digital. So I just never really got back into like collecting the hard, the practical aspects of it. So, it's well, that answers this question there too. My entire collection is digital. I have hardly any physical media. I collect some books, but mainly only the books that I really want to have, like that I need to have on my bookshelf, something like, this, which is just a bunch of cool 80s video art, or, very importantly, one of my favorite things that I've gotten recently is signed by Don Coscarelli, the fiction book, which is pretty awesome, which I have not read yet, but I'm going to very soon here for reasons. Here's this. I do have this there. There's the Eating Raoul comic book. Signed by Paul Bartel, which is kind of cool. I did not know this was a thing until I found it, and I was like, all right, well, I have to buy that. So yeah, that's I just have never really, been that excited about having a whole wall of media. Also, my place is just not that big. I think if I still lived in Pittsburgh and had the house we had in Pittsburgh, which had a whole room that was mine, where I could have a bunch of stuff like that, I'd probably like have a whole wall of movies. But Just not enough space here. Christie's stuff takes up 90% of this house. There's no room for my stuff. I have like this little section up here. I have like this little shelf up here of my stuff. Everything else is Christie's territory. Damn it. I'm not allowed, apparently. So, Mike is here. How's it going? John Estrada also wants to ask any Alien-related content. Yes, on Monday, you're going to be getting that Alien. It's like my third volume of Alien ripoffs that I've got coming your way, which this one's pretty weird. There's some weird stuff in there, and I cover a film that I should have covered on Alien ripoffs a long time ago, and I can't believe that I haven't included it, but it's kind of funny because it's a sequel to a movie that I featured on a different ripoff list very recently. So it's kind of weird that you have two movies that are two different ripoffs of two different franchises that are unrelated. Also, if you're a fan of Dead Last, you're getting some good stuff coming up there too. There's I'm celebrating Jaws' 50th anniversary this month with some Jaws versus some ripoffs of Jaws. And then we're actually doing a Phantasm / Coscarelli Dead Last next month that I'm super excited about. I just watched all the movies I love Phantasm, as you can tell, because I got the book. But that is one of my favorite series that I haven't talked about as much. I keep on promising that I'm going to do unanswered questions about it at some point in the future. Some point, I don't know. It feels like something I don't want to touch. But I imagine I will. I just have to approach it a different way because there's really no answers to Phantasm. Like there's no answers. It's just dream stuff. So if I do an episode of unanswered questions about it, I'm going to have to approach it in a different way. But I think I'm going to do it. But I think I'm going to just have to figure out some other unique way to present it that I haven't quite done with unanswered questions before. Also might have to try to get Don to be in it because I've actually talked to him about it and he said he was down for it. But I'll have to see if that's what it is. But I'm pretty good, PFC. How you doing? Yes, and this is too many people being conned by the marketing teams and boutique labels. Yeah, I'm glad that there's a lot of those boutique labels out there that are putting out weird stuff. But yeah, there's a big field of things out there now. And honestly, I feel the same way about movies and stuff like that as I used to with comic books. Because when I was younger, people used to ask, like, do you collect comic books? And my stock answer was, I don't really collect comic books. I read them. I was never a guy to collect comic books and be like, this is worth this much money. This is worth this much money. I got to have this edition. I have to have the signed version of this. I have to have the first print. I was into comic books because I like to read the stories. And I feel the same way about movies is that I've never been big on having like the steel book thing of this with all the extras. I mainly want to watch the movies and enjoy the films and have that experience. So I've never been big on the collecting aspect of it, which I think is a very cool thing. And like I kind of wish I was more into practical media because there's aspects of it that I love and I think it's a very cool thing, but it just doesn't suit my lifestyle. So I've just never really been that into it. But yeah, Tennis Ball is right. Phantasm is a wild fever dream. It's very cool. And yeah, Mike's facial reconstruction. And how is Reggie so hot? Yeah. I'm glad a little while back when we heard that Reggie Bannister was going into hospice care, I feared the worst and it was coming soon. But he's still going. His health is not good, but he's still kicking it. So it's great that he's around. I got to meet Reggie about three different times, 3 different screenings and stuff like that. Really nice. I've met Don a bunch. I met Angus. I got to meet Angus before he passed, which was pretty cool. Angus was so nice. Angus really liked Christy. He really liked Christy, which was it was really sweet. But PMC says Phantasm 2 is one of my favorite horror movies. Which one is yours? Do you mean favorite horror movies or favorite Phantasm movies? Because if you want to know my favorite Phantasm movies, you'll find out in a month when we do the Don Coscarelli and Phantasm Dead Last. You'll find out which one of them I like the most. But which is my favorite horror movie? I think that's probably pretty obvious to, let me kind of see it a little bit right here, to people that are on the channel. But my favorite movie turned 50 years old this year, and it is, of course, Jaws. Favorite movie of all time, favorite horror movie of all time, fill in the blanks. Jaws is my favorite. Got to go see it in the theater this summer with Stella, which was kind of cool. Being there for the first time, seeing it, very, very good. But all right, I guess it's time to make my general announcement that is kind of the big thing. I titled this video "The Book and Channel Announcement," so I think you know that this is book related. And the good news is that if you are a fan of the 80s Project book thing that I've been working on, yes, 1982 is here. This is my test copy to make sure that it came out all right. It came out great. It looks nice, so I'm really happy with it. We got a cool cover. They made me change the font a little bit, so I have a little bit font different than on the previous ones, which frustrates me a bit, but the font that I was using is no longer available, and this is the closest one that they have now. But inside of it, it looks great. This is some of the nicest printing that it's had so far. And, we've got all of 1982 featured in here. And, of course, if you watch the channel and like the 80s Project, it's very similar, although I do get a little bit more elaborate. And my ratings, whereas on the channel, on the videos, I only talk about my rating for about, a sentence or so. Here, you're getting full paragraphs, a little bit more discussion about its significance. Plus, you're getting more details, like you're getting the country of origin, whether or not it has a sequels, whether or not it has remakes, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, for nerds, as long as it's not Ghostface in the cover, yes, I did not pick that. I did not pick that, damn it. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. Again, it came out really, really nice. You got your Halloween 3 stuff, cool pictures, full color, hardcover book. And here's the cool thing is that finally there's a different way to purchase it, and you can kind of make it a little bit easier for everybody. I'm doing they're in pre-order stage right now because they have not been printed yet, but you can go and do it at movietimelines.org is the actual site. I think that should show up in the chat. If you go there, you will find links to purchase any of the 5 projects books that I have available right now in either a standard edition, or you can get the signed and sticker edition as well. Because I got 1980, 1981. Now there's 1982, but there's also a sci-fi book for 80 and 81. And there's also a 30s project book, which covers the entire decade of the 1930s. If you go there, it's very easy. It's very easy to go. You can go and just purchase really simply, and whichever one you like. It's all pretty obvious right in there. So go to movietimelines.org and you can get this book and several of the others. If there's some of the other ones that you've been looking to get, they're all available right there. Just know that the printing process takes a little while, so they're going to be shipped. It takes about a couple of weeks for them to ship it to me. So just know that it's not going to be right away. I need to place the order. The orders will come in, and then I will ship them. So let me know that, and we'll get that order placed. So go to movietimelines.org and order your copy today. Yeah, I'm excited about that. That'd be pretty cool. Also, I'll point this out too. If you go to srscinema.com, they're doing a moving sale. So Last Amityville related things are marked down. Like I think the DVDs are like $9.95. You can get the T-shirts for like $16 or something like that. The Blu-rays of the Last Amityville movie are sold out. I guess you can't get them there anymore. I think you can still get them from other sites. I don't know. I just know that on srscinema.com, they are completely sold out. So they're not available there anymore. But, of course, if you want to see the Last Amityville movie, you can still order it on regular DVD. Or you can just go to Tubi, Phantasm, or you can go to Found a TV. Or you can purchase a digital copy off of Fandango Now, I think is what it is. But there you go. Sugar Bombs Destroyer wants to know, can I do another fan picks top 10 horror comedies? Because I want to show a love to Hobo with a Shotgun. Yeah, I don't know if that would get picked on a horror comedy, because even though I think it's funny, I don't know if it, like, I feel like it's mostly like horror, but I mean, it is funny. I love Hobo with a Shotgun. I covered it in a video I did about faux exploitation movies that are like sort of fake exploitation movies. But yeah. Oh, Vitor says, "Hola from Portugal." I said, "I'm big over here." Oh, nice. Obrigado. That's good to know. It's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. I'd love to go to Portugal, and I've not yet gone there. But that is a goal of mine to go there. I would love that. But yeah, I'm excited about the new book. I think that this is actually the nicest that any of them have come out. The cover looks really cool. It finally has like that horror and kind of 80s look that I was kind of going for. And the printing of this one came out better than the others. It's actually nice and sharp and clear. I'm pretty happy about it. Really easy to see the tape ratings on here as well too. So got some good stuff in there. This one was my most difficult to make because I had a glitch. As I was when I was about 80% of the way done with the book, I had a glitch and I had to start over and go back and realign everything from the very beginning, which took me about another week and a half to do. So it was a pain in the butt. So this one is done. 1982 is in the can. And again, you can go purchase it and other books, movietimelines.org. And I'm going to start work on the 1983 book probably today. I got to start working on that soon. It takes a while, though. That'll probably be out. I'll probably have the 1983 book out in time for Christmas. And by that time, 1984 will be done on the videos, and I'll be into 1985. So some pretty cool stuff there. And yeah, in case you're curious, 1984 will be over. I'm wrapping up all of 1984, both on the sci-fi and horror, in October. Both of them will be done in October. And we're moving up to 1985 in November. So I'm excited about that. Although 1985 is pretty thick. It's pretty thick with movies. It's going to be a little bit longer than normal. I want to say there's like 13 episodes in 1985. And it was less like big, huge things than I thought in 85 than I was expecting. So I thought there'd be more, but there's some pretty cool stuff. 84 in the sci-fi timeline was crazy rich, full of stuff. There you go. But also, Karth says hi. I want to say hi to Karth real quick. And also, Michael's Movie Monster says, you mentioned about a month ago, you were so kind. I appreciate that. I try to answer any emails I get. I try to answer any comment. Just so you guys know, too, I try to answer any comment that is a question. If someone has a question in the comments, I always try to answer it. I used to be able to respond to every comment. Now it's not as easy. I do respond to just about every email, especially if you're asking a question. I will try to answer it to the best of my ability. Sometimes people ask me about movies that they don't remember, and it's tough because sometimes I'll have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea. Sometimes it's like some description of a movie that sounds like a fever dream. I'm like that. But if I come across it on the as I'm doing the project, I will certainly make a note of it. But yeah, there's some cool. Like I said, there's some cool stuff coming up your way. There's some different things coming. If you're a fan of Inspector Clouseau, I'm throwing in a Pink Panther timeline somewhere along the way. I think that's in September that's coming out. If you're a fan of Unanswered Questions, there's no Unanswered Questions episode in August. I did not do one for August, but there is one coming for September. And it's coming in the very beginning of September. It's like the first Friday video of September. So there is Unanswered Questions is still kicking. It just takes longer. I think there's also going to be an Unanswered Questions in October. There's going to be one that has been very requested. Finally doing a Cabin in the Woods Unanswered Questions. So going to be there. So there's going to be some stuff for that coming up. I've got some cool list videos that are coming as usual. And just, more 80s project, more sci-fi project, the 50s project, which I've been enjoying a lot. There's actually some really cool movies that are from the 50s. Mike wants to know if I'm going to tie in Pink Panther new Eddie Murphy movie. No, that it's funny because that announcement that he made, it's been stewing for a while because I actually do mention it. I already shot the episode. It is not edited or anything yet, but I've already recorded my green screen for it, and I recorded the green screen for it. And literally 2 days afterwards, Eddie Murphy made that statement about being the new Clouseau. But that had already been like rumored for a while because it's in my script. So I apparently pulled that information off of like Wiki or something like that because they've been in discussion with him about being the new Inspector Clouseau. But there you go. One thing that I will tell you too that I'm not accepting yet, but there'll be an announcement made. But probably not until sometime in September or whatever like that. Is that there will be an upcoming episode of Dead Last that will be an all of YouTube participation where I'll be looking to you guys to participate. So there'll be that where you guys can participate in one. I don't want to say what it is yet, but I will be asking you guys to participate in that as well too. Sugar Bombs wants to know if with any time chance we can get the mini timelines back. There's a ton of movies. Only got 2 or 3 movies you haven't covered. If they have 3 movies, they count as a full timeline. Like I'm doing that Carousel timeline, which is 3 movies. Mini timelines, I haven't really. Yeah, I've kind of forgotten about them. I guess I do feel like I probably could get back into doing them a little bit here and there for short videos. But they're honestly, I just haven't had much room for them. But quite possibly in the near future, we'll be having some more of that. So M. Drake said, "Could I suggest another movie for Do Your Worst, even though you already picked my choice?" Yeah, if you want to make another suggestion, absolutely send in another suggestion. I do believe, I think I'll have to look at my roster. I feel like Shark and Saw. I don't have that on the list already. I thought somebody may have already suggested that, but they did not. Although I will tell you that I've seen it, and I don't think it's that bad. But because I've already seen it, I probably would not put it on the roster. One of my rules of Do Your Worst is it should be a movie that I either haven't seen before at all, or a movie that I saw like so long ago that I don't remember whatsoever. So that in that particular case, usually, like I saw Shark and Saw Women's Prison Massacre not that long ago, so I probably would not put that on the roster just because the idea of it is supposed to be that it should be fresh to me and it should be like, oh my God, what am I watching? But if I've already seen it and I know what I'm going braced in, it kind of takes away the point of the thing. And Davini wants to know how big the list of movies on Do Your Worst is. It's so far it's pretty damn big. It is. I can show you. It is this big. Those are all the movies that have been suggested so far. I want to say there's about 70 on there, which is why I'm putting a freeze on this particular roster of movies. I'm not going to take new suggestions on this list. If people suggest movies, I will take those suggestions, but they're going to go on a different list, and I won't get to that one until this is either complete or near complete. Basically, the idea of what I want to do this is that every month I pick these randomly. What I do is I've done this before, and it's like a wheel, and I spin the wheel, and I choose them completely random. Sometimes I have to swap out other things because I won't be able to find the movie. But there you go. I saw another question here or comment that I wanted to. John Blue said I want to Do Your Worst theme is catchy. Yeah, real quick, that's something I do want to address too, because one thing I've noticed on YouTube lately is that there is an abundance of AI stuff on YouTube with like AI voiceovers, people using AI scripts, AI imagery, and everything like that. And you know what? There's a lot of it, and I really want to try to keep that stuff down to a minimum. I have used AI for stuff for my channel. A couple of the blurbs before videos, like the little songs, the little opening intro musics, they are AI generated. And some of my stock background images, just the things that are like behind me, I will use like an AI image generator. But that's it. I don't really do any other AI stuff for any of the videos, and I will not in the future. I will not use it at all. I will say using the AI music is easier in terms of the YouTube copyright thing, because the YouTube copyright thing is so freaking sensitive to music. It's such a pain in the ass it's just frustrating, especially for a creator that does not really have much money to put into this. So, it has been a nice, easy thing to do. But yeah, I do not really want to see much more AI on YouTube. So the stuff that I have done is the limit of what you'll see on my channel. So just know that you're not getting AI scripts. You're not getting AI voiceovers. You're not getting an AI image of me. That's just me sitting there. It's all there. So there's that. Hectoring says, thanks for all your videos. You're a great host. Would you ever do a Dead Last John Woo? Probably. Probably. I haven't been up on John Woo for a while. I watched a bunch of his, bunch of his stuff back when I was younger, back in the, with the killer, with killers and everything. And I saw Hard Target in the theater. So I certainly wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't have any plans for it in the near future, but just so you know that that is there. John wants to know if it's too late to suggest some movies for the Alien ripoff video. It's definitely too late. It's uploaded already. It's ready to go. But you can make suggestions for videos for a future one, because there's so many Alien ripoffs out there that I'm sure that there will be another volume in the future. So feel free to go ahead and suggest that. Davina wants to know if Terratoons 4 is on there. I don't think it is on there, but I believe I've seen Terratoons 4. I don't know if I covered that in my timeline of it or not, or if it came out, maybe it came out afterwards, but I know I've covered a bunch of the Terratoons movies. So finally, Chad wants to know if it's in Hopeball as well. And honestly, I got to tell you, things have been really good, guys. I can't complain. This has been a really nice summer. Christy's been home more than normal. She booked that crazy job, which had her working a lot. And I didn't see her for 3 months. She was getting home later, she was getting home at 8 o'clock at night. And it was just a really, she was working on the TV show Beef, the second season of Beef for Netflix. And it was a very difficult job, a lot of work. That ended. We went on a vacation, and after the vacation, she was just waiting to get another job. So we had some time at home hanging out together. It was really, really good time. Stella had camp for the summer, but was home quite a bit as well too. We got a chance to go on our vacation and spend a lot of quality time together. Christy is now working again. She has gone back to work. She's working on the third season of The Comeback with Lisa Kudrow, which is pretty exciting. I think she's going to be on that show until December. But the hours seem pretty moderate so far. So thankfully, it does not seem like a job that's going to be a ton of stress and keep her away for a lot of time. So we'll see what happens. But yes, this says part 2 Terratoons came out in 2022. I believe video was posted before that. I have to go back and check. I have to see, because I'm also I will make a note of it, because I think I've seen Terratoons 4 just on my own, maybe not for a video, but I may have just watched it. If not, if it's if I look at it, I'm like, oh, I have not seen this at all, I will add it to the new list as well too, because I'm not sure. I have to go back and take a look at that. But any other questions we got before I wrap this up? And again, I'll take this lull to point out that if you go to movietimelines.org, which is a brand new store that is created, which will have more stuff on it in the near future as well too. Not only the books, I'm going to have some t-shirts that will be available up on there. Christy's been making these cool candles that I really like. So I told her to put some of those up on there as well too. So M. Drake said Dead Last Idea, kid-friendly horror. That was just something that we've been talking about for a while. I know that we've mentioned on my Discord, we've been talking about that quite a bit. So we'll have to see about this. Oh, T. Lee, thank you for the $2 super chat. I certainly appreciate that. I watched Company of Wolves, enjoyable watch. It is. It's a weird movie. I don't like it. It's a strange movie. Like if you want to watch like a linear film, you were not getting it from Company of Wolves. But it is a cool vibe and fun story, and I visually, I think that's such a cool movie. John Estrada wants to know if I've watched any interesting movies this season, and like I said, I definitely have seen quite a few. I have to say, if I was talking about my favorite movies of the year so far, my top movie with a bullet, easily my favorite movie of the year, hands down, has been Sinners. I don't know if anything's going to catch up to it. I loved that movie. It was so freaking good. Probably my second favorite movie was Companion. That movie was way better than I expected. I think I was maybe helped by the fact that I went into it completely blind. I had no idea what it was about. I hadn't seen a trailer, and there's a hook or a twist in the movie that really caught me and pulled me in. I was like, whoa. And because I hadn't seen any of this stuff beforehand, I didn't know that the twist was coming. So that was another good one. Again, Superman, probably the best like sort of non-horror flick that I've seen so far. Loved it. Thought it was phenomenal. Mike wants to know if I am interested in Weapons. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in Weapons. It's one I'm not watching trailers for. I'm specifically avoiding watching anything about. I liked Barbarian enough that I know that I want to see Weapons, and the pre-hype for it is enough. I don't really think I need to see the trailers. I want to just see the movie. And if I see the trailers, I don't want to have anything spoiled for me or anything. So right now I just know that it's the movie Weapons, and it's by the guy that made Barbarian. That's all I need to know. I'm going to be there for it. So Spike says if you don't have it, you need the Jaws Lego set. It's awesome. Yeah, I fought buying it for so long. For a while there, the job I was working 2 doors down from a Lego store. And the one day where I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just go get it. I went in and I asked about it, and they're like, we're sold out. And I was like, that's a sign. So I don't have it. But, we'll see. If anyone wants to gift it to me, you can. I guess so. Davini wants to know what are my favorite TV shows. If you've seen the show Dexter, interested in new show come out. I have a blind spot for TV right now because I have so many things to watch in terms of movies. Like I'm always watching movies that I don't really have the time commitment to watch a TV show. There's TV shows that I would love to watch and just don't have a chance for. In terms of what are my favorite TV shows that I've watched previously, I have to say, I know it's a cliche, but Breaking Bad is one of the best TV shows I've ever seen. Buffy and Angel combined, unparalleled TV, such a phenomenal set of shows. So definitely some good stuff in there. And I have seen Dexter. I watched it when I watched the first couple seasons. I think I gave up on after season 5 was the last time I watched it. I didn't see the ending, and I haven't seen any of the new shows or whatever like that. I'm really bad with TV. It's not my forte. Like I keep aware of some of the stuff, and I sort of know what it's about and things, but I mean, I just don't have the time. I mean, they're even like a shorter show of 8 hours. It's like I could watch like 5 movies in that 8 hours. It's a lot of. I'm sorry, guys. I have Revenge of the Boogeyman to watch. I don't have time to watch TV. Speaking of Revenge of the Boogeyman, not a great movie, but a friend of mine, a friend of the channel, Calvin Morier McCarthy, is in it. He usually makes movies, but he's acting in this one, and I thought he did a really good job. So, Calvin, I don't know if you're going to see this, but you did a great job. I thought you were great in that movie. But yeah, there's been some good. I've watched some good stuff recently, just some silly horror movies. I watched a really crappy, low-budget Megan knockoff called Morgan Killer Doll that threw a weird curve that I was like, I didn't see that coming, which I thought was kind of fun. But I watched a fun movie called Borderline with Samara Weaving that I thought was actually quite a bit of fun. Not really a horror movie, but could be. It was a lot of fun. That was pretty good. I watched a movie called Welcome to the Terrordrome from 1995 that I thought was going to be a Mad Max knockoff, and instead it was like sort of a whole social commentary slavery thing, which was really interesting, very dark, and kind of depressing and not a cheerful movie at all. But it was really well done. Really good flick. What else have I said? I'm looking at my roster of movies I've watched in recent times. There was a cool movie called The Theta Girl, which was really interesting, mainly visually interesting, and like did some really cool low budget filmmaking stuff that I thought was pretty neat. Like that. Me and Stella watched The Pickleball Exorcist together. Stella loved The Pickleball Exorcist. Not a good movie, but yeah, I don't know. On that note, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I got to go back to finishing watching a terrible movie here for Do Your Worst. But thank you guys for joining me. One last time, I'll mention go to movietimelines.org and pick yourself up either the new 1982 80s Project book, or if you don't have some of the other ones, you can pick up the other volumes as well. Get 1980, get 1981, get the sci-fi book, get the 30s Project. They're all there. So if you want any of them, you can very easily go get them at movietimelines.org now, and keep your eyes on that page for other stuff that's coming up. I'm thinking about having some Blu-rays made of some of the content and do the videos packaged together on a Blu-ray or something like that has been suggested. So I might end up doing that and having them available there as well too. But so thank you guys for joining me. Like I said, tomorrow morning you got a cool video coming. On Monday, another cool video. Every Friday, every Monday, tune in right here. I appreciate it. And thanks, guys. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye.